Hey there. I had a bunch of conflicts with flipping the ship back and forth like this, but I resolved them yesterday, as far as I can tell, and I'd like to get started with. Is there a problem here? I don't know if pushing the joystick to the left and it's going up, so it shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, that's really strange. It seems like there's just endless problems with this, and every time I want to do something, I have to change something else. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. It seems like I had a bunch of these problems yesterday, and I don't know if it's just because the joystick is sensitive. I think the joystick just might be ultra sensitive because it really shouldn't go up like that when I press to the side. Yeah, it's just the joystick that I'm using is a D-pad, a Nintendo type joystick, and I think it's not in the best shape. So let's just get started with this here. I'm only going to do two things today with this. First, we need a laser beam to the left, so we're going to start off with that. Laser is spelled with an S, not a Z. I didn't know that. So we're going to put laser left, just make it plain and simple. And let me edit line 51 and change that Z to an S. Okay, so actually I don't need two different lines here. So we're going to find where that laser statement is, and I think it's 51. And we're going to see exactly how long it is. Oh, you know, this computer is just so difficult to work with. It's unbelievable. So lines 51 through 54. List 51 through 54. It's our laser statement. So this is where I'm going to be working right now. And it's just going to be well, there's two different ways I could do this. I could say if P equals 254, let's not make it too confusing. Let me renumber this. And get a line in here. So we're going to say, when it goes subs, we're going to say if A equals 0, then 53, which is our laser shooting to the right, else 55. And 55, we're going to make, we need two lines in there. So we're going to make line 55, 57. Let's list this. 51 through, I don't know, 60. Just to get this whole thing here. So else 57, which is going to be edit 52, it changed because I renumbered it. So I've got to change this back to a 55, list this over again. 51 through, I don't know what it is, 58, 57. List 51 through 57. I just want to look at this. Else 55 and 55. And the other thing we're going to need here, boy. No, we're doing fine. Actually, I do this all the time for the button. So I just need to take a breath and think about this for a minute. So if we hit the button and A equals 0, that means we're facing right, and that means we're going to shoot to the right. If that doesn't happen, we're going to go to 55. And 55 is going to act as a block. Because what's going to happen is, if it applies the 0, we will do this. But when we hit 55, we're going to say if A equals 1, then 56, else 57, which is our return statement. So 56, and we're going to need one more line in here. And so we're going to go line, this is the laser on. So we started from the tip of the ship, which was, I don't know, it must have been 142, and then I added 2. And I believe it was 15 spaces. Or I might have added 1. I think I only added 1. This is high resolution. So it was 143. So we need to go 143 minus 15 minus 1. And so it should be 127 for this. And we're going to go 96 plus y to, we're going to go all the way over to 0. And x has no variable because the ship stays in the middle of the screen. And 96 plus y is our varying y. P set. Let's clear this. Let's list it. 51 through, what is it, 60? Oh, that's way too far. 50. List 51 through 57. So if we hit the button and A equals 0, we're going to the right. We do our laser beam. If it does apply that, it will hit this line and A will be 0, so that it will go to the return and it won't do our shooting to the left. If it does equal 1, it will bypass this, go to 55, then go to 56. The else won't be applied, and it will draw our laser to the left. So let's see if this works. And it does. So it's just simply a line. Okay, so we need to animate that line. So we're going to renumber, and I didn't put a timer in because I thought I put a timer in, but apparently I didn't. So I know I had at one point, but it must have gotten erased. You don't really need one because we want it to be quick. So we need to renumber this one more time, and we're gonna CLS it and list 51 through, I keep forgetting now, it's 58. So 57 will erase the line here. It's going to be the same information. But we're going to preset it. So I'm making sure these lines match, and as far as I can tell, they match. So we should be able to fire left now, but it's way too long. See how it needs to be shortened. So we're going to edit 56, and I'm just going to guess and say 120. I must not have the numbers right. This was done like a week or two ago when I did the laser thing, so I don't remember the numbers. It's still too long. If I get my protractor, and hold it up, I say that's a good 4 or 5 pixels that still need to come off. So if I take my calculator and I minus, let's say 5 pixels off of that, and same thing here, they have to match. Programs like this are always trial and error. It doesn't matter what level you are. And now it is good, but it needs to come back over 1. So we need to make this 116 for it to line up exactly where I want it here. And that's it. So now we're able to shoot to the left and move up and down, and we're able to flip-flop without any problems. The only thing that's missing is I can't scroll to the left yet. So what I want to do is, again, I'm going to get my protractor and I'm going to measure from the edge of the mountain here over to the side of the screen. And if I do that, I get 1 and it's hard to read here. It looks like 1 and eighths here. I'm doing eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like 1 and 5/8 maybe. Yep, it's 1 and 5/8 more or less. If I come over to this area here, I hold my protractor up to the screen. It looks like 1 and 3/4. And this is over here is closer to, it's not exactly, but it's closer to 1 and what was it, 5/8. So let me move it over one more. That's too much. That's too far over now. Let's run this one more time. And the reason I'm doing this is because now I want to center these mountains, since we're going to be able to go either way, and that's the best I'm going to be able to do. That's centered enough. If I go any farther, because we're working in increments of 10 and not 5, it's not going to be perfectly even, because 10 doesn't divide into 256. And that's if it's closer to a division of 5, but we can't use 5 because we're going to slow down too much. So the reason I'm doing this is because I need to print X, and X is -50, so I'll save that in my actual memory. And what I need to do is, now I'm going to need to go back into the graphics, into all of the graphics. So we're going to list 4 through 14, list, and hopefully it all fits on the screen, and it doesn't. So we're going to list 4 through 13. That doesn't fit. What is going on with this? List 4, it's just not going to fit, and it's driving me nuts. Boy, this is such a pain. List, like, we're going to list 4 through 10 and start there. Somehow this is going to fit on the screen. So as I was saying, I need to go back into the graphic and I need to change the X values. And I think X equaled -50, which it does. I'm going to have to take 50 off of all of these to center this, There's no other way. It has to be done by hand. So starting with line 5, we're going to take 50 off, is I think what I said. So 56 minus 50 is 6. And I have to be careful here. I'm using my calculator. I'm going to do this as quickly as I can. And so line 5 is done. Now the next line is 7. I have 6 more of these to do. So there's 7 lines in all for the background graphic. So we're going to edit 7. And I'm used to this type of thing. If you're not, then you just have to have some patience. 200 minus 50 would be 150. I don't want to make a mistake here. So 200 minus 50 again is 150. I'm only changing the x's. This would be changed to 104. It goes quickly. You just have to stay with the flow of it. Use your calculator. Now this needs to be changed to 94. And so I did 1, 2, 3, 4 lines in less than a minute. So I only have 3 left to do. Edit 11. And I'm just taking 50. 144 minus 50 is 94. And 128 minus 50 is 78. And if you don't know how to edit, just look at my editing video. Most of it is in there. If I didn't cover something, look in your book. It'll be there. So 128 minus 50 is again 78. And 112 minus 50 is 62. And I think that does it. Oh, I have one more. Edit line 13. And this is only 7 lines. So it's not too bad. And the 112 got changed to a 62. I can see that right there. And I can't take anything from 0, so that stays the same. Now let's run this, and we can see that our graphic is now centered, but I do have a problem here. So I took something away that I shouldn't have, and I believe it's in line 5. And the mistake is here. This should have been left alone, because anything without a variable needs to be left alone. So that's it. And now our mountains are centered. The only thing we have to do now is go back and do the same thing for lines 15 through 26. And if I list lines 15 through 20, we can see that it's the graphic off statement. So let's start with line 16. We're going to leave that alone because there's no variable in there. And 246 minus 50 is 196. So the next line in question is line 18. And again, 246 minus 50 is 196. And 200 minus 50 is simply 150. We're going to edit 19. Change this to 150. Change this to 104. And we're just going to keep going until they're all done. Now, 144 minus 50 is 94. And we're almost done. It's really not that hard. So I just need lines 22 through 24. And we're going to list 22 through 24 and edit these 3 lines, and we'll be done. And this gets changed to 94. 128 minus 50 is 78. Edit 23 and then 24. So 128 again becomes 78. You can see that right here. And 112 minus 50 is 62. And finally, line 24, 112 becomes 62. In 0, we leave that alone because it has no variable. So I can move to the right, but I'm not going to be able to move as far to the right. That's as far as I can go without getting an FC error. If anybody's actually following this series in depth, give me a thumbs up or let me know. I don't know if people are watching the entire video, or it doesn't seem like it. It seems like, but maybe I'm wrong. So let me know if you're enjoying this. If I don't get any thumbs up or any feedback, I'm just going to assume that people aren't really enjoying this for some reason. And if that's the case, let me know why you're not enjoying this. I'm doing my best to try to cover the TRS-80, and I'm not getting a lot of feedback or a lot of views or a lot of anything really lately. So I'm not sure why that is. So, alright. So now that I put the laser in and I've centered the land masses in the background, the last thing I'm going to do today is get motion to the left, and that's going to be simply done. So we're going to list 27 through 40 is the joystick scheme, and this thing took me a long time to figure this out. Flip-flopping back and forth took me like an hour yesterday, and I made a video, but I got rid of it because it was really redundant. I'm sorry, that might not be the right word, but it was really just a mess, so I chose to just throw it away. But I needed to get this done. So if we go to the left, we have only one command, and if we go to the right, we have two commands. So all I simply need to do is edit line 37. And so if j equals 0 and a equals 0, we're going to go sub to 45, which is turning the ship to the right off. Then a equals 1, and then we put the graphic back on the screen, going to the left. But this isn't going to suffice. We do need one more line in here. So I'm going to renumber this, and I need to make line 38, 39 to have enough room in there, and I'm going to have to list this over again. I did this so many times yesterday. Oh, I just got sick of it. So we're going to say if j equals 0 and a equals 1, then we're good to go. All we need to do, we don't need to erase anything. What we need to do is put movement in there, and it's going to be done just by a few strokes of the keyboard here. And as it goes to the right, I think it's going to be go sub 15 and go sub 4, to be honest with you. So go sub 15, go sub 4, and okay, so the only thing is, if we list 15 and we list 4, we can see that we're good. But we do need to add one more line in under the graphic off statement on the background graphics. So we're going to list 21 through 26. Let me clear the screen so I can see what I'm doing. 21 through 26. We only have one that's going to the right. So simply change line 26 to 27 and we make line 26, if j equals 0, then x equals x plus 10. CLS list 21 through 28. And what this is going to do is, when it gets to the point, or if we list the joystick again, or if I just look into the joystick on my notes here, well, you can see that when we go sub to 15, this is part of 15. After it erases the background graphic that's currently on the screen, it's going to do that, and then it's going to change. It's going to apply a number to x, an increment to x, and then it will, after I return back to the joystick, it's going to go sub to the graphic draw area, and it's going to apply that variable. So what's wrong with 39? Oh, I put up, that shouldn't be there. There was a colon in there. And now, as you can see, I can fly to the left as well. I can fly back to the right. I can dip down here. I can shoot some bad guys. I can turn around, shoot some bad guys over here, go back this way, and rescue some guy over here. And if you know how Defender is, so we're getting there. This is pretty close to a game now. I can do anything on here, just like in a video game. And this is all in basic, by the way. So I can go up here, I can turn around, I can shoot this guy here, up here, shoot this guy up here, come down, fly a little bit over to the left, swoop down here, and I'm getting no conflicts, and we're good. So that's it for today. Next time I'll put some stars in and figure out a way to color the ship or color the mountains, or I might not be able to do either. That'll be really challenging. I don't know, but it would be good to get some color in either the mountains or the ship, or both. Maybe just the ship. The ship is always drawn second, so I'm getting holes. Why am I getting holes like that? Yeah, I gotta fix that. Getting holes everywhere, guys. It was working fine. And so I'm gonna have to address that next time before I do anything else. I wasn't getting holes before, so something's not in the right place. The mountain is fine. As you can see, the mountain gets cut up, but it gets redrawn. So the ship is not being redrawn correctly when it gets to that point. So I'll deal with that next time, but at least I was able to fly to the left, fly to the right. I got the laser beam in, and I centered the mountains. So I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye.